So you know that game, Call of Duty World at War, that came out in 2008? When you beat the main game and it reveals a secret game mode of Call of Duty Zombies. This round-based survival game mode where you try to survive for as long as possible against hordes of the undead. And that was fun for a bit, right? Camping in that one spot near the stairs and being creeped out by those old zombie sounds which sound weirdly similar to dogs barking. With this small little game mode, it would eventually become very, very popular. And Treyarch, seeing the potential for this, decided to double down on the zombie mode. A couple of months later, Treyarch released the first DLC expansion for the game, which included a new zombies map to play on called Verrucht. And then they released this bomb-ass trailer with the Marines fighting off the zombies, as well as introducing one of the most stylish ways to present a game mechanic in a video game: the Perk-a-colas. As the name implies, these are supposed to be little in-game boosts to give your character a little bonus to make playing the game more easy and manageable. But instead of just being some bonus you apply to your character in a menu or something, you instead find these perks in the game through these big colorful soda machines with their own unique color scheme, logos, and jingle. Each perk giving you a unique ability based on its name. So as you can imagine, these mock soda drinks instantly became popular with the Call of Duty Zombies fanbase and in general across the internet as a whole. Everyone knows what these multicolored bottles are, with most people mainly just praising Juggernog as the ultimate Perk-a-cola. The Perk-a-colas were just simply a genius idea by the game developers. I mean, getting your bonus perk through a unique soda type drink, it just gives the game style, you know? It's an element of fun and just humor. And every young teen would almost instantly try to recreate the Perk-a-colas in real life, using these like printed logos and food coloring to create the colors of the liquid. I know I tried to. The Perk-a-colas are just simply a testament of good design. I mean, nothing more than that, and now have become a household name in the gaming world. But what are these drinks made of? Well, in the game lore, it's told that these drinks are made by this research organization called Group 935 as a form of like super serum, basically to enhance the abilities of soldiers on the battlefield. But the ingredients are never stated, and for a long time most people just made assumptions and theories about what the drinks were made of. However, in 2020, we got our answer when Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War released, which came with its own zombies game mode. The perks made a return, but this time they were in the form of actual cans rather than their previously bottled forms. Yeah, they got the Coca-Cola treatment. And with this, we finally got the recipes for these perks, with the ingredients label on the back of the can, which shows that it's actually somehow even worse than everyone thought it would be. Let's take a look at this shit, shall we? Juggernog, the drink that helps you feel big and strong. Drink this and it gives you extra health and will allow you to take extra hits from the zombies. I always thought this one would have like a cherry flavor to it, but looking at the ingredients, it's not going to taste anything remotely similar to cherry. This would be shit and unsafe. So first off, it's 1,000 calories for just one can, which is a little excessive, but it gets worse, as it has over 70 grams of total fat and 45 grams of sodium. That much sodium is well beyond daily limits of what's recommended. That's gonna fuck you up. But alongside this, you have 5,000 grams of carbs and 400 grams of protein. You are not digesting that. It's just gonna go in and out, assuming that it hasn't already caused a heart attack at this point. And apparently, the ingredients for this are carbonated milk. I mean, that's just gonna be sour. Powdered crocodile eggs, which would make it very thick and creamy. Spinach juice, which is just some nice bitterness, alright. Pure gumption, which is not a real ingredient. And lastly, fortified with iron. So instead of some nice cherry flavor like I imagine, it probably tastes like some overly creamy, fizzy, thick drink. It's just a blend of bullshit. It's probably horrible, but hey, maybe that 90 grams of sugar it has can maybe overpower this messed up blend of ingredients. But somehow I doubt even that could stop it. You know, it all makes sense now. Now we know why our characters only take a single sip of this drink. As realistically, that's the only way you're surviving such a drink like this. Like, I get it, right? I know it's a gameplay mechanic, but like, no one wants to buy a perk and have to wait a minute for your character to chug this thing down like a frat dude. But again, realistically, that's literally the only way you're gonna somehow safely drink these things. You can only take one sip. So even though these drinks are outrageous, for shits and giggles, let's take a look at the rest.
If you wanna get up, you need a little revive.
So now you got Quick Revive. In the game, this perk gives you the ability of an extra life. So if you get downed, it can pick you right back up. So ever since it came out in War That War and Black Ops, it's been pretty useful because people want to use that as a get out of jail free card. Well, let's just look at the nutrition facts. So first of all, it has 115 calories, which, get it, it's 115, which I'm pretty sure references the fact that Quick Revive, just like all the perks, has element 115 in it. Element 115 in the zombies lore is literally just that thing in every other story that causes the plot to begin with. It's just that MacGuffin mechanic, in the game it allows for stuff like the wonder weapons, teleportation, all that stuff. It's what allows the perks to do what they can do. But anyways, besides that, it also has 150 grams of total fat, 90 grams of sodium, which again, the sodium is just insane with these, 125 grams of total carbs, 10 grams of protein, and 0 grams of sugar. It's not so bad. So now for the ingredients. And this shit is so diabolical. So apparently, Quick Revive has trench water, feline urea, anchovy paste, adrenaline, ammonium salts, and chicken broth. Which I like the cartoon logic being put in place here, like, oh yeah, smelling salts, that thing that helps to wake up athletes and stuff when they're knocked out and shit. Yeah, it's gonna work when I'm bleeding out, right? And of course, chicken broth, because chicken broth and chicken soup in general can literally cure any disease known on the planet, as every good mother knows. So with this information, now we know that Quick Revive would taste absolutely toxic. I mean, with like no sugar, you're gonna just getting that full ride experience with that cat piss and muddy trench water down your gullet. But hey, I'd say it's pretty worth it for what it gives you. Gotta do whatever it takes. Speed Cola. It speeds up your life. In the game, it has the simple effect of simply speeding up your reload time. But I don't know, man, with these ingredients, it's just gonna speed up your brain rot. I mean, that's the only thing it's gonna do. So for the nutrition facts, this one has 60 calories, 0 fats, 45 grams of sodium, of course, and 2,500 grams of total carbs, 100 grams of sugar, and 0 grams of protein. And here's where it gets legally insane again. The ingredients for Speed Cola are carbonated water, glucose, aka sugar, cola nut extract, hydrolyzed crank, which is meth if you don't know, caffeine, guarana, taurine, and cayenne pepper. So this is a weirdly sweet / spicy drink, and mix that with the meth, it's gonna make you feel a little twitchy. So I don't know if in real life this would increase your reload time, but it would definitely make you hyper. So, and then it would probably turn you into a tweaker. Now for the next Perk-a-cola, it's stamina up time. Yeah, this one cannot disappoint. I swear, some of these jingles though for these perks sound so much like some kind of love song. In the game, stamina up is supposed to be a perk that makes you run faster and for longer. That's what it's supposed to do. But I mean, based on that jingle, man, it sounds like it's supposed to give you stamina for something else. As for the drink itself, the nutrition fact states that it has 10 calories, 140 grams of total fat, 45 grams of sodium, 750 grams of total carbs, 1 gram of sugar, and 5 grams of protein. And for the ingredients, it contains lemon juice, lime shavings, vitamin K, capsaicin, jumping bean extract, and of course, high octane gasoline, which is just great. Like for the most part, most of these drinks were somewhat survivable, but yeah, no. If you drink stamina up, you're just gonna poison and kill yourself. There's no better way of saying it.
Slap your body to the floor. Everybody needs some more of your loving, your explosive loving. When you die prone, it's gonna shake you to the bone. All the zombies gonna groan cause of PhD. Damn straight.
And the last perk I'll be talking about is the greatest of all time, my GOAT, PhD Flopper. In the game, PhD Flopper gives you not 1, not 2, but 3 abilities. First of all, as the name suggests, PhD Flopper, it gives you the ability that when you dive to prone, you create a miniature explosion that kills anything around you. And it's permanent too. There's no cooldown. You can just keep diving over and over again and just causing explosions all over the place. It's great. Second ability is that it makes you immune to all fall damage. So you can fall from any height and you won't take any damage. And its last ability, which I argue is the most useful, is its ability to negate any explosive damage. So that means you can literally have a bazooka on your shoulder, you can shoot it point blank at a zombie's dumbass face, and you just won't take any damage from it. You're immune from any explosives. All of this in just one perk. So as you can imagine, it just instantly became like just a fan favorite. I mean, everyone loves PhD Flopper just because of how absolutely broken it is. But more importantly, let's look at the nutrition facts. So again, for the calories, it has 238 calories. It also has 70 grams of total fat. And of course, the sodium. You already know how it is. 1,800 grams of sodium. It has 90 grams of total carbs, 70 grams of sugar, and 30 grams of protein. And here we go for the ingredients. As we know, it's an explosive drink, so let's see what we got. It's got castor oil, nitroglycerin, powdered graphite, blasting cap extract, and distilled banana peel. So besides tasting like a fucking bomb, it probably also tastes, I guess it also has a slight tinge of banana. And I don't even care at this point. I just want the abilities of PhD Flopper. I mean, I don't care if I die, I'm drinking. So those are just a few of my personal favorite perks that you can use in the game. And now that we know what the ingredients are, it definitely pains me to see that most of these perks are not as delicious as I thought. But still, how do they work? I mean, obviously in the game it contains element 115, but in real life, how would you make this kind of drink? Or perhaps serum? Because the main thing that makes these perks great is that they give you these abilities you wouldn't normally have, but along with that, it also gives you these abilities permanently. They never go away. So obviously these drinks aren't just normal drinks, they're more like serums that are genetically editing your body to permanently change the way you function. Which is, in reality, the only way these perks could work. I mean, if they had this ability in real life, the only way they could achieve that is through changing your genetic code. So how would that work? For basic human genetic alterations, for someone to go from human to superhuman, the drink or serum or chemical or whatever you're using, we need to have the ability to integrate new genetic material into the original DNA of the person's cells. Because as we know, DNA exists within all our cells, within every human cell in our body, with the exception of, red blood cells and platelets. But so basically, it's in almost every cell in our body, and every cell in our body has the same DNA, which is what makes you, you. And the reason why your body can be made up of all these different cells, like muscle cells, bone cells, etc., despite having all the same DNA, is because of gene expression. Gene expression is where the DNA within the cell basically turns on or off certain genes to create the specific cell needed. The genes being the different sections of DNA, where the smaller molecules that make up the DNA molecule as a whole arranged to make specific genes, specifically the nitrogenous bases, the smaller molecules of adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. All genes are made up of just these 4 different bases, arranged into specific and unique sequences to make up the unique human that is you. And that is what those rungs that extend inward in DNA are. They contain the genetic information and instructions for your body's cells, and are stabilized and provided structural support by the double helix strands. And as for the shape of DNA itself, the double helix shape that it has, each of those strands, those 2 DNA ladders, are made up of deoxyribose sugar molecules and phosphate group molecules. Each strand in that double helix structure consists of both of these molecule groups connected together. And then again, those strands are also then held together by the aforementioned rungs, the nitrogenous base molecules. And that's for DNA. There's also RNA, but that's more for acting as a messenger. DNA is, what actually helps give our cells instructions and templates. RNA just acts as a messenger and helps in the process of synthesizing new proteins. But in general, when it comes to gene editing, we usually just target DNA because that's the actual, instructions. So through DNA and gene expression, our body is able to differentiate and create all the different cells needed for our body to function. So when editing human genes, scientists can use specific ways of targeting the DNA within our cells to edit them accordingly. And as mentioned prior, this is done through introducing new genetic material, which despite the sound of the name, right, it's not actually like new human DNA or something. It's rather like basically scientists make this synthetic DNA an RNA from like a lab, and they can integrate this new DNA into the already existing cells of a person. Once introduced into the person's, existing cells, it can perform specific functions. And when it's placed inside, a specific cell that they want to target, it can do the specific tasks, you designed it for. So for example, if you want to replicate the effect of the Juggernog drink, for example, where it makes you stronger and tougher, you would probably need to introduce this modified DNA within the cells of someone's muscle cells, where from there, it can replace and match the genes with the original host's DNA and go on from there. So basically what it would just do is this modified DNA would just target the person's muscle cells. All the muscle cells in their body, it would just replace those and create the new ones that are stronger and tougher. Using gene editing, this effect you're trying to achieve would now become permanent, as you're basically now letting your body produce this effect on its own. And in real life, this type of gene editing would most likely be injected into a person's body rather than being from like a drink. Because through injections, you can easily target the specific cells you want to change. If you had a drink of this like serum you're making containing whatever chemical you're using, it could still be possible, but it would be far less efficient because it would have to go through your entire digestive system first. And as you know, your digestive system breaks down anything you consume, so all those synthesized molecules and genetic agents could be broken down before they even reach any of the necessary cells. So yeah, in short, needles suck, man.